In this video, blue arrows will represent passive transport, green will represent active transport, and purple will represent secretion. Secretion is when substances move from the blood and into the tubule. Before we talk about the function of the kidneys, let's go over the main components that make up the kidney. The outer layer of the kidney is called the renal cortex. The next layer is called the renal medulla, and the innermost layer is called the renal pelvis. The renal pelvis flows down to the ureter. There is also the renal artery and the renal vein. Inside each kidney, there are around 1 million nephrons. The nephron is mainly used for the production of urine in order to get rid of excess water and waste products. The nephron has 6 main parts: the Bowman's capsule, the proximal tubule, the descending loop of Henle, the ascending loop of Henle, the distal tubule, and the collecting duct. The nephron is split between the cortex and the medulla. I'll get to the reason for that in a minute. Blood enters the afferent arteriole, gets filtered in the glomerulus, and leaves via the efferent arteriole. The efferent arteriole branches out around the rest of the nephron, allowing for reabsorption to occur. The Bowman's capsule filters components out of the blood. This fluid is now called filtrate. Filtrate is mostly made up of water, glucose, amino acids, inorganic ions like sodium, chloride, potassium, and bicarbonate. It also contains waste products like urea. White blood cells, red blood cells, platelets, and proteins do not pass through the Bowman's capsule. The proximal tubule is where most secretion and absorption occur. In the proximal tubule, chloride, sodium, chloride, glucose, potassium, bicarbonate ions, and amino acids get reabsorbed into the bloodstream through active transport. Water follows sodium and gets reabsorbed into the bloodstream through passive transport. Hydrogen, ammonia, and drugs get secreted into the proximal tubule. Bicarbonate ions, potassium, and hydrogen are responsible for maintaining the pH of blood. The filtrate then moves down the descending loop of Henle, where even more water gets reabsorbed through passive transport. Thanks to the help of sodium-enriched medulla surrounding, this is possible. Once the filtrate moves up the ascending loop, the walls become too thick for water to get reabsorbed. Sodium and chloride get actively transported back into the bloodstream in the ascending loop. The filtrate moves through the distal tubule where sodium, chloride, and carbonic acid are actively reabsorbed into the bloodstream. Hydrogen and potassium are secreted back into the tubule to help regulate pH. The filtrate then moves through the collecting duct. Here's where your brain assists by telling your kidney if you were dehydrated. If so, the brain will release a hormone from your pituitary gland called ADH, which opens little doors called aquaporins. The kidney, in turn, will release a hormone called aldosterone, opening up pores for sodium to escape. When sodium leaves the collecting duct, water will follow thanks to passive transport. ADH not only helps with water reabsorption, but also blood pressure. The amount of water in your blood will increase or decrease. The amount of water in your blood will increase or decrease the blood pressure. By allowing water reabsorption, your kidney regulates your blood pressure. If you're hydrated, your blood pressure is normal and nothing will happen. The filtrate, now called urine, moves through the ureter and into the bladder. Your urine is mostly made up of water, urea, sodium, chloride, potassium, and inorganic substances. Here's the final overview. Thank you for watching.